Hello, hockey fans. The Minnesota Hockey Connection is on the air. We're on the air for the next half hour. I'm Kenny Gallagher, along with Jerry Burrow. And Jerry, I don't know if this is our final show of the 2017-18 hockey season, but it's going to be pretty close. Maybe we'll squeeze one more in, but the Stanley Cup is here.
Right. We might do one after the Stanley Cup and the draft, but we'll see. But, hey, good to see you again. It's been a few weeks.
Yeah, you too, Jerry.
Yeah.
It has been a while.
Yeah.
April 23rd, I think.
And a lot has happened. I mean,
A lot has happened. My goodness.
man, we're into the final round in the National Hockey League.
Yeah. We'll get to all that hockey talk, but there's something I've been wanting to ask you now for a few days because I just heard the news that head coach up at Duluth Marshall, Brendan Flaherty, has throat cancer.
Yep, and our thoughts and prayers go out to him and his family. And he's in chemo and radiation, I guess.
Okay.
I guess it's 7 rounds he has to go through, and what I'm hearing. And they're having a big benefit Friday. This is June 1st. What is it called? Grace Solon? What do you call the down
Graceland Plaza?
Graceland, okay, yes.
Oh, the ballroom down there at the old Hotel Duluth.
Right.
Yeah.
They're having a big benefit this Friday, June 1st, 5:30 to 8:30. And there'll be raffles, a lot of items, I guess an auction, and
I can just
food
imagine.
and drinks.
Yeah, I can just imagine some of the items for auction.
Yeah, and I think there'll be a lot of hockey people there.
Wow. Oh,
So,
I'm sure there will be.
The Marshall High School hockey program's putting it on, the kids and all
No,
that.
what have you heard? When I hear throat cancer, I think somebody's a smoker, but I've heard that he didn't smoke cigarettes.
No, a lot of people, it seems like, get cancer now all over.
Yeah.
And you think, first thing you think, lung or throat is smoker.
What have you heard? What's the diagnosis?
I don't know exactly, but I'm going to talk to someone that's very close to him probably later today.
Okay.
But our prayers go out, though, again.
Sure.
And, hey, the hockey community is very close, and I've gotten coaches around the state, that are saying the same thing. Their thoughts and prayers go out for him.
Sure.
Hopefully a few of them can make it up there for this benefit. And I hope things go good that he can coach this year.
I hope so. Brendan Flaherty, Duluth Marshall, we're pulling for you. And like Jerry said, our thoughts and prayers are with you, and we're hoping for a speedy recovery on this. Wow. Yeah. So what else do you, any other high school talk?
Well, since you've been talking about Coach Brennan, who's put in a lot of time in Duluth and high school coaching. I mean, he's probably got 30 years of high school because he started at Central. So then he went up to Marshall.
He started coaching Duluth Central?
Yeah.
That's where I remember when he was there, but that's where his career started?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Went to state with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's good. So, but there's a lot of other coaches that has happened. Like, I don't know, our last show, did we talk about, I don't know if when the coaching changes at the Gophers and St. Cloud State.
What do you got?
But what happened is that the Gophers got St. Cloud State coach now, Bob Motzko.
Yeah.
And his assistant, or Scotty Bell, who was an assistant with the Gophers last year, but he brought one of his assistants from St. Cloud State. And his name is Garrett Rabon. And so they got their coaching staff set together. But then after that happened, our own UMD assistant coach Brett Larson got the head coaching job at St. Cloud State.
Yes.
And then he picked up one of the assistants at St. Cloud State, Mike Givens, who's been around in coaching a long time in this state. And they brought in first-year coach Nick Oliver, who played at St. Cloud State and up in Roseau.
Okay.
His dad coached him at Roseau. So those are the 3 coaches there. And then another one in the NCHC, Jim Montgomery of Denver Pioneers, has left the program to go to the pros.
Yeah.
Dallas Stars picked him up.
Uh-huh.
He's going to get a big chunk of money.
Well, Hackstall went from North Dakota to Philadelphia and has had success there.
And there's another college coach that just left for the Rangers. I forget his first name now, but Quinn from Boston University.
Okay.
So, I mean, these college coaches, that's a big step, I think.
Yeah, this is a new trend. Well, maybe they're looking at the success Axtell's had.
And there was rumors at first that Scott Sandlin, UMD, the Rangers were talking with him.
Were they talking with him?
I don't know. I'm going to find that out. I'm going to go direct to the source.
Okay. Well, Scott Sandlin's had success at UMD. I don't know if Scott would be willing to go to the NHL. That's quite a leap, and not only that, but just the time and the effort you put in there. And he's getting paid well at UMD. But we'll see what happens there. So, what else you got?
I think the Minnesota Wilderness lost their coach to St. Celestia. What's his name? Is it Madison or Madison?
I haven't heard anything, but...
yeah, that's what I'm hearing, that he's going to be going, someone told me. So we'll see.
Well, Mark Wick was dismissed up at St. Scholastica, and I wasn't happy with that decision, but nonetheless, Mark is now out at St. Scholastica, and you think that the Minnesota Wilderness coach is in at Scholastica.
That's what I heard from a source of mine. Right. We'll see on that one. So, a lot of coaches talking that. So... let's see. We had I was at the Robinson Cup, which is the Stanley Cup of the North American Hockey League. It's down in Blaine, and the Shreveport Mud Bugs.
Shreveport.
Yeah, down in Louisiana. They won the whole show. They beat Minot in the finals, but they had good crowds.
Time out. Does Shreveport play these teams during the regular season?
Yes, they play in the South. Most of their games are in the South, but they do play other teams. They go out, play a series here and a series there.
Well,
and then they were very good team defensively.
The Mud Bugs.
Yeah, that's what I like. I like the name. They had a lot of fans come up from Louisiana.
All right.
So, I mean, they won it, and the North American Hockey League is getting bigger and bigger every year.
Now, who did they beat?
They beat Minot.
Minot?
Yeah.
North Dakota?
Yes.
Oh, okay. And why was it played in Blaine? It's a neutral site?
Well, they like the cities. They want scouts to come to it.
Okay.
And they feel that they have the best hockey arenas.
Okay.
So
now, is this the format of the NAHL for their Robertson Cup? They play in a neutral site?
Right. Last 4 years, they had it at Edina, and last year it was up here in Duluth. And
at Heritage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the only reason they changed it is the scouts, it was harder for them to get up to Duluth. So that's what they say. Who knows? But plus, it's always on fishing opening weekend, Mother's Day.
Okay.
A lot of things going on,
Yeah.
But they have good crowds, and it went over pretty good. And the North American Hockey League had over 240 college commitments.
That's really cool.
Yeah, so the league's getting bigger and bigger.
Good.
And a lot of those commitments are Minnesota kids.
Yeah.
A lot of them. And another thing is they have their draft coming up on the 5th of June. Mm-hmm. So, and the nice thing about it, the kid can be drafted in North American Hockey League, but a good player can go try out at one of these USHL, which is a Tier 1. Mm-hmm. The North American Hockey League is a Tier 2. So one level down, but it's still very good hockey. I mean, if you go there, man, there's not much space, man. It's like the National Hockey League Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
Those guys, they can't find any space.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the Stanley Cup. We have the first time NHL new expansion team, Las Vegas Knights, and the Washington Capitals. So we'll have a first-time winner of the Stanley Cup this season. I'm not going to get into all the reasons why I wouldn't like to see Las Vegas win it, but what is the Washington team? I was looking at the roster, and I can't remember his name. Locally, Minnesotans, if you will, Matt Niskanen.
Right. Virginia, Mountain Iron.
UMD Bulldog.
Yep.
TJ Oshie.
Yep. World.
Schmidt. Is it Nate?
Nate. St. Cloud Cathedral he played. And Minnesota Gophers.
And then the one that I can't remember his name, I don't know if he's playing He was
He
born in
hasn't-
Hopkins. I don't know where he played his high school hockey.
Oh,
Or
that's
if he
Travis Boyd.
Yeah, what's up with him?
I don't know. I haven't seen him. But there's another Minnesota
He's
kid.
on the active roster.
Yeah, there's another kid that played in not this series, but the last series because of Backstrom's injury, and his dad played in Duluth.
Gersich.
Yes.
What's his status?
So I think
Well, he's
under-
down now that Backstrom's up.
Right.
Or playing, rather.
something like that.
Okay.
So I haven't seen him.
Travis Boyd.
Yes.
You don't know his status.
No, I guess he's just one of the extras in case an injury.
Okay. All right.
But he played at the Gopher.
Okay.
He really got good at the end of his career at
Yeah.
Gopher.
The NHL changed the rules, and I don't have all the details, but they changed the rules on the supplemental draft as opposed to previous expansion teams. When previous expansion teams came in, or I guess maybe I'll say it this way, this expansion team, Las Vegas, had a better pool of players to pick from than previous expansion teams.
For sure.
Yeah. So the NHL set this team up to be in the Stanley Cup. And here they are.
They can get a top 10 player from every team.
And so that's what they did. They put together a championship team.
Yeah, but you better have a good general manager and a good scout, and I think they did it.
Okay. So they're in the Stanley Cup. First year in. What do they have to play for after this season?
Well, for 10 years, the pit bosses at casinos, the guys that throw 100,000 up, yeah,
And-
here's some free tickets.
Another point is you've got a team like Washington who's been in the league for 40 years or whatever.
Never
it's
won.
been. Never won it. They've been here trying to build a championship team. They're finally there, and they might lose this to a first-year team that the NHL built.
And it's something, I don't know, I watched Vegas in many games already in the Stanley Cup, and holy cow, how they do it sometimes is
They're a good
amazing.
team.
Yeah.
I will say this.
They're solid, they don't give much space, but how they score sometimes.
Well, they
That
Yeah.
fourth line, there were nobody players on that line.
arguably have the best goaltender in the league.
I don't know how he was good at Pittsburgh,
Well,
then he
that's
was
my question.
slowing down, and he had some terrible games in
But how
Stanley
did
Cup.
Pittsburgh leave him unprotected?
Because they like the younger guy, Murray.
Okay. Now, Gerard Gallant, the head coach in Las Vegas, what was his role prior to this?
He was fired when the Florida Panthers were doing very well, having one of their best seasons. He was fired in midseason.
Well, Gerard Gallant went from being an unknown coach in the league, I didn't even know where he was, Florida,
Yep.
to on the cusp of winning the Stanley Cup, and he's coached this team all the way now. They won game one. Game one was Monday night in Las Vegas, and they're.
Yeah, he's got
Are
those
they the
lines.
team of destiny? I think they might be.
Yeah.
I think they might be. Washington.
But I like Washington. They've come back in all these teams.
They have.
And then they don't give up. And now last night, I didn't see much out of Ovechkin, but TJ Oshie, man, he looked great out there. He was the best player on the ice, I thought. And
But again, I get back to this thought on Las Vegas. First year in the league, what do they have to play for after this? If they win this Stanley Cup, will they go on the tank for the next 30 years? Or will they be a perennial championship team? Are they going to build a dynasty? It's very odd. I don't like it just from the simple fact that the NHL really gave them an advantage this year, the way they were able to build that team.
yeah, if people understand, like when Minnesota Wild came around, who else came in with them? Columbus, was it?
Yes.
And how they got the draft of these, it was so different. You weren't getting a top 10 player. You were getting the bottom. You were
Right.
getting
Right.
third line at best.
Right.
At best.
Yeah.
Now you're getting a second liner. You're getting,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
St. Louis did it in their first year as an expansion team back in 67, 68. Did St. Louis ever go back to the Stanley Cup? They may have. Did they ever win a Stanley Cup in St. Louis? I don't recall them ever winning a Stanley Cup.
They went against Boston and they lost.
This could turn out to be I don't want to say disastrous, but if Las Vegas wins this Stanley Cup, again, what do they have to play for in their second year and their third year and their fourth? And then again, maybe they'll win
Dynasty.
5 championships in the next 10 years, and it's a moot point.
And then the Raiders come in for football.
Yeah. I don't like it. I'm just not a big fan of the way that this team was put together.
Yeah.
They had an advantage over previous expansion teams, and
You know what's so funny? Minnesota Wild, they had Vegas's number. Every game, I mean, they lost one, but they won 3. But they outplayed them big time, every game.
You know, I'm trying to watch these games, Stanley Cup, the conference finals, all these playoff games, really, and try to compare what I see with the Minnesota Wild. And granted, the Wild had a great regular season, made it to the first round of the playoffs, but they were just not able to match up with Winnipeg. And they had some success against Winnipeg. I think they won 2, maybe 3 games this year against them in the regular season. So it's not like they can't beat them, but now the Wild have a new general manager.
Yeah. What's his name? Paul Fenton?
Fenton is the last name, that I know.
I think it's Paul.
So after
The Nashville assistant GM.
Yeah, so Fletcher is out, Fenton is in, and I think we're going to see some trades. And I'm getting a little tired of some of the guys right now that we have, some of the personnel.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So who do you think there's so many guaranteed contracts. That's the big problem. And
Right.
these are all big money ones.
Yeah. Well, I think Niederreiter has been an underachiever.
Charlie Coyle.
Charlie Coyle, big time.
They could have got something if they would have traded him mid-season here.
What happens to
Now his value has gone down.
what happens to I almost said JT. What happens to Zach Parise?
Yeah.
Is he under contract still?
Oh, yeah.
That was a 13, 11-year
He's
deal?
got about 6, 7 years left. Guaranteed.
Yeah,
Suter.
guaranteed.
Yep, Suter.
Yeah. Can't the new GM come in and say, that was under the old GM? No, the new GM. Can't do that now. Okay.
If you were the general manager, do it.
Yeah. I don't know. I just, the Wild...
They're going to be stuck. There's a lot of people think they're not going to make the playoff next year.
goaltending has been shaky. The thing is about...
They're getting old, too.
Yeah, they are. You're right, Jer. The thing about Dubnyk is he's a great goaltender. But there's just some inconsistencies there and shakiness. You can't count on him to win a championship. You've got to count on the other guys. So is a goaltender in the offing for this team?
I don't know.
Does Stalock come back?
Yeah, but is he the one? I mean, he's a good second goalie, I think. That's his role, I think. Stalock. Dubnyk, he's 32, 33 years old. Well, look at Fleury for Vegas. He's up there in age, too.
I really thought Winnipeg was going to go all the way this year. I thought that the way that they took care of Minnesota
I don't know how Vegas
and they beat Nashville.
Winnipeg is just big.
Yeah.
That's the biggest team in the National Hockey League.
Yeah.
But I'll say one thing. Boy, the hockey fans are coming out for these teams.
Yeah.
I mean, give you 4 teams, man. It's just amazing. The Washington Caps, Winnipeg Jets, Nashville Predators, and the Vegas Golden Knights. Mm-hmm. Those fans on these 4 teams, they're nuts.
Well, nuts in what way? Good?
Yes.
Oh, good.
They love their team. Yeah. Well, just like Washington, when they had thousands for the takeoff to go to Vegas.
Yeah.
Winnipeg has thousands outside watching on the big TVs. Nashville, the same thing.
Sure.
Vegas is going crazy.
Yeah.
Everyone wants a jersey now. Everyone that goes to Vegas.
Yeah.
I think they're making more money on jerseys so they can pay their contracts.
Well, there's a real unique dynamic here. People are certainly, this is probably the greatest bandwagon team of all time, Las Vegas. And the thing is, Jared, there's never been a major professional sports team in Las Vegas.
Right, because of gambling.
And, well, yeah, but they've had some minor league baseball and hockey teams there.
Hey, Ingolstadt had a pro team. in hockey.
Yeah.
He brought in all these Minnesota kids a long time ago.
And so you've got Las Vegas is on the map now as a major professional sports team. They've got an NHL hockey team.
Right.
Up next, an NFL hockey team. Or
Football.
NFL hockey team. NFL football team.
Yes.
Thank you. So there's an
maybe
allure.
basketball's next.
Sure. And if a city like Atlanta was doing this, it's Atlanta. What's on? This is Las Vegas. This is Sin City.
Right.
This is Evil Knievel, all wrapped together.
Right.
The Golden Knights.
Right.
And so there's some unique dynamics there, and it's working.
And it's so funny, the Minnesota Gophers are going to play North Dakota Fighting Hawks out there in Vegas.
Why? When?
In the end of October.
What's going on? Exhibition tournament? What?
The Hall of Fame game.
They're going to play in Las Vegas.
Yes.
Well, they're in the NHL now, so they've got a big draw. They're a major
But they're not.
sports
They're
team.
not playing.
City.
They're not going to be playing in the National Hockey League stadium. They're going to the New Orleans arena where they have a pro team, the Eastern Hockey League.
Okay, now I'm confused. New Orleans
Is a casino, and connected to it is a hockey rink.
What's this all about?
They've had that for years now. 15, 20 years.
They've been playing out there?
They have a pro team.
Oh, I know, but this college
No,
matchup.
this is the first one.
Okay.
I mean, it's just kind of funny how Vegas is throwing out these events. How they go to Vegas.
Yeah, just listening to the announcers, Ed Olchuk, he's become quite a homer for Las Vegas, and
Oh, is he?
it's just the bandwagon.
I thought he was in Winnipeg.
Well, by the way, he gets on the television and talks, and maybe I analyze it a little differently. Who knows? But I don't know. I'm not on that bandwagon. I'm sorry.
So who do you like of all the announcers and intermission host and all that on the National Hockey League? You like any of them?
Currently, like Doc and I'm not a big Ed Olchuk fan. I never have been.
What about Jones?
Keith Jones, I like Keith Jones.
What about Milbury?
Milbury, I think there's something I like about him, and there's something I hate about him. Jeremy Roenick, I always have had a sour taste in my mouth since the strike of 2004.
Okay.
And Jeremy Roenick admonished the fans on television and said, if you don't want to come out and support us, we don't want you, or something to that effect. And I just thought it was... I thought it was pretty disingenuous, and I'm not a big Roenick fan.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I just haven't liked his some of his antics, but yeah.
I like Doc. I mean, when you listen to the game, he still does a good job.
The guy that I liked the most that we haven't seen no more, and a lot of people aren't aware of who Bill Clement is, and Bill Clement was
he was a big forward, wasn't he, for the
he
Philadelphia?
Played for the Flyers.
Yeah.
And was he defenseman or forward?
I thought he was whatever.
But he was a great analyst, a great side guy, and without a doubt the best play-by-play hockey guy. I like Doc, don't get me wrong, but Gary Thorne was certainly.
They brought him in for the Frozen Four.
They brought him in for the state high school tournament.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, I met him a few times.
So we've got NHL, the Vegas Knights, Washington Capitals. One game is in the books. Las Vegas won that game. It actually was a good game to watch. A lot of scoring, of 2-2 after the first period, and I don't think a team ever had more than a one-goal lead early on, but nonetheless, it was a good game to watch.
Oh yeah,
and it was anybody's game to win. Washington had a lot of chances. Now game 2, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah. UMD and Gopher, they are throwing out their schedules now for the next year hockey season. And I see that to start the season, the Gophers and UMD are playing each other.
The first game of the year.
There might be an exhibition game first,
Yeah.
But October 6th and 7th, 6th, I think they play up at UMD, and then 7th they go down to Minneapolis and play. So it's a home and home.
Well, it's non-conference. Yeah. It's not what it used to be. It'll be exciting. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, you got little, NCHC Motzko from St. Cloud State. That's Gopher coach now. So you got and you got some things going on where some of the recruits are changing their mind.
Let's talk UMD Bulldog. I'm sorry. Let's talk national champions UMD Bulldog hockey. Last season, there was no way anybody had them penciled in as national champions.
I'd be cheering if they got 500.
This season, what do you think?
They're gonna put them up there toward the top, if not the top. To start the season.
Players have come and gone like they have in the past. We've lost Captain Kuhlman. But now this year, we're dealing with the loss of assistant coaches and coaching changes.
You never know. That can be a big difference. How they get the most out of some of these kids.
Who are some of the newcomers that we should see this season on the Bulldog hockey team?
I think you got the Cates out of Stillwater. They're two brothers.
They'll be here together.
Yeah, okay. They're both coming up. They both did good in the USHL.
All right.
So I think offensively that's going to be good for them. Who else really big's coming in that don't have the list right now, but it's about 6 players coming in.
Okay. Well, Jerry, why don't we do this? Why don't we? We've got to run here, but why don't we plan on one more show? Maybe we'll wait till after the Stanley Cup is over. We can talk about what happens there.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about the draft.
Yeah, we can do that about the 23rd, 24th of June.
Yeah.
I forget what days they are. But
So look for another episode this season. But in the meantime, we want to thank the staff at PACT-TV where this program's produced. You can go to our website, MinnesotaHockeyConnection.com. Go to our Facebook page and like us there. And we have a YouTube channel. Find Minnesota Hockey Connection on YouTube. And we've got content on there that you can watch. And that's it.
Yep. And Coach Flaherty, good luck in your recovery of this throat cancer. I know you can beat it. And the big event is Friday, the 1st of June. And get down there to, what do you call it again, Grace Hollow?
Yeah, the old Hotel Duluth.
Yeah.
That works for me.
So 5:30 on Friday, June 1st.
Awesome.
Big benefit for him.
All right. We'll be back. We've got one more show left this season. We'll see you then.